Hi guys, welcome to Geeks Speak. Today we are going to be doing wand versus
lightsabers! So folks, our lightsaber versus wand debate is part of a long ongoing siege of our Star Wars versus Harry Potter debate. I'm Team Star Wars as I defend both the Force, lightsabers, and the overall inclusiveness of the universe, while Taylor here
is Team Harry Potter. Now, I'm not saying I don't like Star Wars at all. He's not saying he doesn't like Harry Potter. I hope. But, I have just grown up with Harry Potter and have always just believed in it a tiniest bit more. But today we are not going to be doing wizard versus Jedi or the Force versus magic or anything like that. Today is specifically wand versus lightsaber and what they can do as a tool themselves.
So in this thing, so we're doing about tools itself, and there's no way to use a wand without magic. Are we just gonna say the magic that is limited to just one use?
Yes, there is such thing as magic that does not use a wand. There are magical objects like port keys, verbal magic, things that you can do without a wand. So there are other magics besides a wand that I cannot debate today.
Alright, but tell us, almighty Hufflepuff, what is... Oh, look at that. What is some of the things that make a wand unique?
Are we talking about wands in general right now, or combat? Because, in my opinion, the lightsaber is mainly only used for combat.
And that's where you're wrong, but let's start with the wands in general.
The wands in general?
Yes.
Well, if we're talking about overall, wands are good for combat. Wands are good for day-to-day life. I can do the dishes with my wand. I can knit with my wand. I can do so much with my wand. Wands are good for after battle, as they can heal people as well. Wands can create entire armies. I'm kind of giving all my points away at once right now with this, but a wand is a multi-tool that can be used in hand-to-hand combat, far-away combat, just daily skills. And it is more than just 2 to 3 things. It is a daily life skill and tool, as well as a weapon for war.
Intriguing.
Yes.
Now, while I have seen the movies of Harry Potter, I prefer Harry Potter over Lord of the Rings and everything. In which case, while I can say that if you're looking at a wand as like a piece of weaponry, weaponry, it's more gifted for long range.
I think that's safer.
Long range is the modern day and is the most safest thing, but if you're someone who studies war and combat, you can go with the nice point and aim sort of thing, but it's like, okay, it's like, alright, it's like if you took a finger gun and just bang, 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 bang. In which case,
but this does more than just bang. Like, I can do a bunch of different spells.
Yes, but
I can freeze people, I can control people, which is not legal, but yes. You can control people, you can torture them.
Well, yes, but this is all linked to the magic, but here's one thing. One of my key points that I always bring with Harry Potter fans that always says the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is so much better is the fact that the only way you could use a wand is if you're born with magic. And in the world of Harry Potter, that's how things are structured. If you're born with magic, you have the ability to use wands and advance high in the Wizarding World. If you're a squib, unfortunately, then only thing you can do is learn about magic and learn about the Wizarding World, but you can't use magic itself. And of course, if you're the parents...
You can use magical objects. A squib can use a port key, technically.
A port key, but yeah.
No, we're not going there.
Yeah, but that's a port key. That's not them generating their own magic, and that's not them owning their own wand. In which case, my whole thing with magic and wands and of Harry Potter is the fact that to me, it seems too limited. It seems more based on our world where if you're born lucky, then you can advance in society.
Yes, but that's the world overall. We're just talking about wands and lightsabers.
Yes, in which case, a wand, you can only if you're born with magic, you can only use that. Otherwise, it's a useless stick that could fit so well as a spindle for stairs. While for a lightsaber, and look at the shine. A lightsaber is something that anyone with or without the Force can use. Sure, you have to be Force sensitive to at least build it with the kyber crystal. But wait a second.
Okay.
Once a lightsaber is assembled, in which case it's a little touchy-feely process to build one's lightsaber. It's a rite of passage for a Jedi to go out, find the kyber crystal, find all the parts that they want to use for the lightsaber. While for a Sith, they have to kill a Jedi, take their lightsaber crystal, bleed it, and basically corrupt the crystal into kind of... Yeah. You said get to the point or to the point?
I said to the point. Get to the point.
The point is...
We can have a Star Wars history lesson later.
Thank you. The point is, with a lightsaber, it's something that's universal that anyone can use. For instance, anyone who's a fan of Finn, our favorite stormtrooper, does not possess the Force, but he was still able to hold his own against a First Order stormtrooper that had a riot baton. And of course, he was able to hold his own and land a hit on Kylo Ren, a well-trained Force user. Then, of course, we have General Grievous, who was able to kill multiple Jedi with their own weaponry against them, and he had no Force.
Yes, but that just proves that a lightsaber is a very highly technical, glorified sword.
But it's not. It is, but it's not. Okay, it's a work of art. It is a sword, but it's not just for killing.
Yes, but it's just a sword. This is a multi-purpose tool that can be used in day-to-day life and battle.
Yes, but this is not just used for killing. It can also be used to create light and generate light as well. In which case, the light of a lightsaber is...
So it's a flashlight.
Can you just...
Bravo! You invented the flashlight.
Can you just wait? I didn't interrupt you when you were talking. So it can be used to light up. It can be used to light up objects. It can be used.
A wand.
Yes, but I think the brightness of a lightsaber outweighs that of a wand.
Depends on what spell you're doing.
And also, a lightsaber is made out of metal. You can, in which case, if you sit on your wand or have your wand so wrong in your pocket, if it breaks, your magic is pretty much useless.
Yes, these are a little bit more delicate, but...
Yeah, more delicate. I mean, a wooden stick? Wow.
Yes, but I don't need to be in hand-to-hand combat with this. So besides sitting on it, and unless I fall into the Whomping Willow, my wand will be pretty safe.
Yes, but here's the thing. Like, you pull out a wand, a fancy piece of stick on anyone, they're not going to take you seriously.
I can come out of nowhere and sneak attack, because they're not going to take me seriously.
Yes, but here's the thing. If you disarm me,
someone's going to come and punch you in the face, because they know you're dangerous. And then you did.
But here's the thing. You point out a wand like a gun, or in any sort of shape or fashion, people are going to be like, oh shit, but it's a stick, so they might either run up to you or run up to you and knock you out. But here's the thing, with a lightsaber, you cut off a wand tip, the wand is pretty much useless. Also, with a lightsaber can come in different shapes and sizes.
So can a wand.
See, you're cheating because this is your apartment and you have all the wands.
So can a wand.
But
I got brown. I got amber in the top. I got black. I got tan with carvings. I got white made from actual bone.
But in terms of a lightsaber, you can get curved. You can get a double-bladed saber. You can get a saber spear, a saber axe. You can get a lightsaber hilt that is made out of can be made out of a black alloy. You can get one out of silver alloy. You can make a lightsaber out of the finest wood of Kashyyyk. You can get a lightsaber made out of the tooth of a Rancor or a Sarlacc. You can also, if you're Palpatine, you can also make your lightsaber out of frick, the most heaviest and most durable alloy in the Star Wars universe. Not to mention, you can make a lightsaber out of jewels. And you can do that with a wand too. Yes,
you can get very detailed with carvings and jewels.
But can you make a metal wand?
You probably could. I've never gone there.
But as
technology grows, you may be able to. That has not been proven, though. I'll give you that.
And also, instead of the crystals, like in canon, it's called kyber crystals, but in Legends, the crystals that power lightsabers or focusing crystals could be found on planets like Ilum, or if you're a Sith back in Legends, you created your own synthetic crystal. You can also have crystals that are from animals, such as
same with this. That some of these, the cores of these are like phoenix feather tails, unicorn.
Yes, but
We get animals in these all the time.
Yes, but here's the thing. Most of your wands are bought in a shop. You have to build a lightsaber.
You have to build a wand. It doesn't fall from
really?
the sky.
Since when does Harry Potter?
Harry doesn't build his own wand, but you have to build a wand. Ollivander went through years and years of training to be able to do that. It is a very magical, specific art form. It is not something anyone can do off the street.
Yes, no one can build a lightsaber off the street.
Well,
but
then
everyone,
it's the same concept.
But everyone is taught how to build a lightsaber, whether Jedi or Sith, and that makes them more unique.
You can taught how to build a wand. It's just if you don't want to, and you want to be a police officer, you want to be something else. You go be something else. But if you want to take the artistic time and integrity that it takes to make one of these, you can. It's a deep skill, just like being a professional artist in the normal world.
Yes.
It's a lot harder.
Yes, it's a lot harder. In which case, if they learn the skill in the craft, I would say bravo to them. But the fact that Jedi and Sith have to learn the art of creating a lightsaber, as it is supposed to be a representation of them, but also their skills of the Force, and also a little bit of engineering and stuff. This shows that they have great talent, and that they are, and that the lightsaber itself is of greater extension. If you take the time to build something that shows just how, one, connected you are, and two, just how meaningful it is. I mean, take Voldemort's wand. Voldemort's wand is beautiful, but however, when push came to shove, he decided to throw his wand away for a better wand that can compete with Harry, that could at least...
Well, that's someone being stupid. A wand does choose the wizard. You have a better connection with a wand. A wand that does not choose you, you're not going to be able to use it easily. Within combat, if you disarm someone, the wand now can belong to you, and it won't work as well for that person. Wands are very choosy. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, but they are very connected to the person because they're that person's wand. They're not going to work better for someone else, no matter how powerful they are. And overall, if we go past the art, which we're focusing a lot on, and I think there's more to it than that, is that wands are more than weapons. And if you are using it as a weapon, there's a lot more than just hand-to-hand combat or gun-like magic you can do. You can create entire armies. You can heal someone with a wand, a broken bone, as long as you know what you're doing, unlike some people. Probably a lot more than that. We don't really see that as much in the movie, but we know that this is a multi-purpose tool. You can perform memory charms as long as you know what you're doing, but that's not really a good thing. Once again, we don't want to end up in jail.
One of the things that Taylor's mentioned is healing. With a lightsaber, it immediately cauterizes a wound. So what it means, if you're someone that's injured, that's critically injured, and say you want to prevent bleeding, with the use of a lightsaber, you could cauterize a wound, prevent blood loss. So this thing could be used for healing as well. Also, you can make makeshift objects. In the first episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Yoda used his lightsaber to make somewhat of a, I want to say a cane, but like, the thing. You
could turn a wand into a cane if we're going there.
No, stop.
You're going cane-wise.
Look, he took a clone trooper, a DC-15 rifle, and made it into like a stretcher for a clone that broke his leg. In which case,
you can just make him float. We don't need a stretcher.
Floating not a stretcher, but a leg brace.
Okay, see, that's different. If you're talking stretcher.
I meant a leg brace, I don't know.
We don't need a leg brace, though. I can heal bones as long as I know what I'm doing with this.
But, and also, lightsabers are also used for ceremonies as well. When a Jedi Padawan is knighted, the Grand Master of the Order takes their lightsaber, knights them, but then removes the Padawan's braid and promotes that Padawan into a Jedi Knight. When lightsabers were invented, they were used for ceremonial reasons before they were transferred into that of a combative role situations. But also, lightsabers as a combative tool can not only, sure, they work better when in close range, but in long range they can block various attacks that are energy based. For instance, when it's laser bolts, not only can a lightsaber, deflect it, but it can redirect it back at the attacker. In which case, since if you look at it in one shape or form, an attack, say like Expelliarmus or Avada Kedavra is an energy based tool, an energy based attack.
That you can then deflect with another energy-based attack. If you saw the last Harry Potter movie, They had a huge energy battle. It's just the strongest person won.
Yes, but however, with a lightsaber, with it being energy itself, you could just stand there and just, you can stand there and just absorb all of Voldemort's stuff, or you can be like, fuck you, Voldemort, and just redirect his killing curse back at him. So basically,
you could do that with a wand too.
Yes, you could, but however, again, that would be more or less a beam battle. But however, with a lightsaber, if you just get it in the right position, which is lightsaber combat, you could deflect it, and which you can deflect it. So both of our tools can use deflective stuff.
Yes, if we're talking about one-on-one combat. But you can also make, as I said earlier, whole armies with just a wand.
Yes, but however, you can break whole armies with a lightsaber.
Yes, but I can keep making them.
You can, yes, until...
You have to actually fight them. I could just say, make it and go sit in the corner.
However, we still don't know the exact parameters of how McGonagall made her stone army, whether or not they were already cursed to begin with, in which case all she decided to say is a simple spell. We don't know if there is an army creation spell, or whether that just cursed.
No, we don't have 100% proof. They haven't gone into depth. But if that is as easy as whipping your wand out, then that is a huge advantage.
Well, yes, but here's the thing. You just also have to look at the things that you might be encountering with your wand. For instance, a lightsaber can cut through anything from wood to metal and other material, with the exception of energy base. How good could a wand do against, say, an army of battle droids or an AT-AT walker? Or how good could wizards do in an all-out combative scenario where they're outflanked and surrounded by all sides with various different fighters, shooting at you in multiple directions with large numbers?
One, it's hard to explain because we've never really seen anything like that. But you can also put protection spells on stuff, like they put a protection spell around Hogwarts and protect yourself from all that. And then once they get up close to you, you can do the hand-on-hand spell.
We've never seen a wizard do anything hand-on-hand except just punch someone in the face.
I mean, like, as hand-on-hand as Voldemort and Harry were in the end of the seventh movie.
Okay, that's not really...
That's not really hand-on-hand, and that's why I'm saying...
And that's not really a wand doing hand-on-hand. That's just basically them, like, saying, oh, hey, Tom, I'm gonna just grab onto you and we can go flying around. And...
No, I mean, like, the very end, when he was like, Avada Kedavra, and then the other bolt of energy collided.
That's not hand-on-hand. That's still from a distance.
Well, that's kind of...
Hand-on-hand is basically like this. That's
I know that, but to end everything, I do believe the wand is better. Just a little bit better, I will admit that. But besides just being a sword, a weapon in combat, a light, being able to cut a couple things down, the wand is a daily tool. It can help a stay-at-home mom, a guy just going to the office, a police officer. And sometimes these people are in agony. We have Molly Weasley with 7 kids, and I'm pretty sure her wand came in lots of handy, doing things like the laundry and the dishes while she was a teacher for her homeschooled children. This wand did the rest of her life for her.
Didn't we see in certain points where she didn't even use wand to make the things do? It was
no, that's because Molly Weasley is a badass bitch who doesn't need no wand to help her. But a normal person with 7 kids, this wand would come in lots of handy. A guy going to the office who just needs a little help, this wand will come in handy. Some mechanic who can't lift a heavy object, this wand will come in handy.
Because if they had magic.
Yes, exactly.
If they had magic.
If they had magic.
They weren't born.
So this would help a wizard. Sadly, a lonely mom at home who is just a muggle, this wand is useless. That is the main flaw, I will say. In conclusion? In conclusion, while
a lightsaber can't do the dishes for you, it is a useful tool for anyone who wishes to practice a more archaic and a more fundamental way of combat. If you're someone that wants to take the time to learn an artistic discipline, and you also want to learn some sort of combative form, but have something that's your own, then a lightsaber is good for you. In which case, a lightsaber is something that takes time and effort to learn how to master, learn how to construct, in which case, unlike a wand of a wizard, a lightsaber is a daily occurrence and is something that can be used by a Jedi, a Sith, Dark Jedi, or a bounty hunter, or a non-force sensitive person. It's a widely accessible. It's not accessible unless you buy it off the black market. But if you get your
If
hands,
you're there.
yes, but because it's more of a religious item rather than an everyday functional tool. But if you find a lightsaber, if you're able to practice melee weapons, then if you have the force or not, you're able to use it to get you to at least defend yourself or defend the people you love, or gain power, depending on your sort of thing. In an instance like where today's modern day and age, where you want to be cautious about anywhere and everyone, a lightsaber is a perfect thing. My point is, a lightsaber is truly a tool that can be used by anyone and everyone, given the proper training and the proper respect for it. And it's something that can last. Plus, as a toy, a toy lightsaber is way better, guys. You can actually do with it, while you just point.
I will give you that much. And with that, what do you think the best tool is? The wand or the lightsaber? Oh. And what tool do you think will be the weapon of the future?